Welcome friends, my name is Gayle and today we're going to do a mandala flow. So some of you might know what a mandala is and some of you might be wondering, what's a mandala? A mandala basically means circle, and the mandala that you might be familiar with is a Tibetan mandala where monks will spend oftentimes many days creating this beautiful work of art using colored sand. So they have to go very carefully, placing each grain of sand, creating this beautiful pattern. And after they spend all this time and energy creating this beautiful work of art, they maybe let it stay completed for a day or two. I'm not sure exactly how long, but then they just wipe it away with the idea that nothing is really permanent, but at the same time everything is infinite. So we have this infinite capacity inside of ourselves to love, to be loved, to accomplish amazing things, and to go through all kinds of layers of life. And this infinity inside is also connected to this greater infinity outside. And there's this energy that flows through us, inside of us, around us. And so we're going to play with circular movements in our bodies and circular movements around the mat. So it could be helpful for you to have a block, not absolutely necessary, a book or something that you can, water bottle or something that you can use for a little bit of support could be handy. So take as much time as you need to get your mat, get everything set up, and come on back and we'll get started. So we're going to start in child's pose. Sit back on your heels, stretch your arms forward, bring your knees apart enough for you to be able to open up the upper back. Let your forehead rest on the floor. And if your head doesn't touch the floor, no worries. You can always rest your head on a block or let your head hang a little bit or use a folded blanket or something. So you want to be comfortable here. And pay attention to your breath, the soft movement of the breath, in and out. And this kind of infinite motion that never ends until the day our physical body dies. But then our breath, our energy, our spirit, our prana continues. So it's always good to start in a calming position, taking time to clear out excess dust, stuff that we don't need, and simply be with the breath and connect to this present moment. And bring your forearms to the floor. We're going to do a little kind of cat-cow so on our forearms. So as you inhale, arch your spine, and as you exhale, round your back. Inhale, lift, exhale, fold and round. Inhale, lift up, exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, stretch out as you lift up, and exhale, pull your belly toward the sky as you round. And come onto your hands and knees and tabletop. We're going to do some circular motions around our hands, feeling the weight shift on all different parts of our hands, the heels of the hands, the outside of the hands, the tip of the fingers. Reverse the direction of your circles. And then rotate your hands so your fingers either face your knees, and if that's not possible, out to the side. And we're going to do that same circular motion, shifting our weight around in circles around our hands, working out some flexion in the wrist, building some strength and awareness in our hands. And switch the direction of your circles. Just let the movement glide with your breath. Come back to center, and there's a couple different ways we can stretch the outer wrist. So you can The easiest way could be to make this, bring the knuckles of your hands together, place the top of the hands down, and start to circle around. Another way to do that is to place the top of your hands on the floor with the palms facing up, and same kind of circles. Try and stay a little bit lifted. So the tendency for me is to sink down. So think of lifting up. And no need to put a lot of pressure on your hands. Your knees can also be closer to your hands, which will make it a little bit easier. So these are all things you can adjust. Switch the direction of your circles. And come back to center. Sit back on your heels and shake out the hands a little bit. And then we'll come back into our child's pose and do similar like cat-cow waves. So for the first variation, we're going to inhale, round up. And then exhale, bend the elbows, lower down, and stretch back. Inhale, puff up in your back to come forward. And exhale, elbows down, chest down, hips up to go back. A couple more times. Just see if you can get a nice fluid range of motion here. Last time in this direction. And now from child's pose, we're going to reverse that. So as you inhale, slither your heart forward and around to stretch back to your heels. Inhale, come forward, and exhale round. You can see this circular motion, circular shape that we're making with our spine. And it's so good to warm up the spine and just get as much movement as we can. And come back into your tabletop position. We're going to work with the legs and the hips. So just start by hovering your right leg above the floor and start to do little circles. So I'm keeping my pelvis relatively still here, meaning I'm not doing this big movement yet. Just making these little circles. And reverse the direction of your circle. I'm not trying to go fast here. We're just trying to feel the movement in the hip joint. And then we'll switch sides. So hover your left knee and begin to circle. Little circles, keeping the pelvis relatively still. And then reverse the direction of your circles. Just trying to find a nice, smooth, gliding movement. And then we'll come back to the first side, and this time we're going to do big circles. So opening up the hip. And let's think of trying to draw a circle with the knee. And do one more circle here. And reverse the direction of those circles. So you might feel your glutes working here. I'm sure feeling mine. We're also just lubricating the hip joint. Now we'll do the other side. So big circles. You can see my hips are moving quite a bit. So I can bring my knee up and really open up the hips. And then I'll switch the direction. We'll all switch the direction of circles. So this is kind of exploratory. Just noticing what kind of range of motion we're feeling today right now. Good, come back onto your hands and knees and just kind of glide from side to side. You can do a couple of circles around your hands again. And we'll come back into our tabletop, walk your knees back, tuck your toes, stretch your arms forward, keep a lift under the arms, and lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And we'll do some cat-cow kind of circular motions again with our spine. So as you inhale, you round your spine forward, and exhale, stretch back, arching the back. Inhale, round forward, and exhale, stretch it back. Inhale, there's a lifting up to come forward. Exhale, stretch it back. And then we'll reverse that. So I like to bend my elbows here. I'm going to bend the elbows a little bit, come forward, and round back. Again, nothing is perfect in a way. In other ways, no matter what we do is perfect. As long as we're intentional and paying attention, being mindful. And walk your feet forward to your hands. Widen the feet apart. Lower your hips, come into a squat. It's like you can't really practice too much squatting, you know? We did it when we were kids, and it's kind of like a lost art for some people. Lower your hips all the way to the floor. And then we're gonna bring our right knee back behind us a little bit. The left knee is gonna be in front. And you can decide like how close you want your knee to be to your front heel. So back knee, there's a, you can figure out the distance that you need for the front heel, from the front heel. And then lean back a little bit and begin to open up the hip. And this is a little bit wide for me, so I'm gonna bring my knee in a little bit. And I'm trying not to bob up and down to open it. I'm trying to stay still with my torso. And again, work that hip joint. Couple more times. And now we're gonna lean forward a little bit. I'm gonna press this knee, this back knee into the floor, with the inside edge of the leg in toward the floor, and just lift and lower the back heel. So this will work the internal rotation of your leg and give your glutes a little workout as well. So now from here, watch. I'm just gonna lift this back knee up, stretch both legs out, lean forward, and just kind of rock forward and back. If you wanna add a little core work into this, you can push into your hands and lift your hips up and lower down. So a little bit of a rocking motion to lift up. This is also going to work the flexion in your wrists. And let's do one more. And now to work on this circular motion, I'm just going to bend this back knee, pull it in, bend the front knee, lean back again, and lift and lower the knee. And you might find that each side is a little bit different or a lot different. So we're not trying to force anything. There's no perfect shape. It's just paying attention and learning and discovering. Now I'm gonna lean forward a little bit. Lean, keep this leg pressing down and lift and lower. Again, I'm not doing this to lift and lower. I'm trying to isolate the movement in this hip joint. And really work on feeling what a stronger internal rotation is. Now from here, I'm going to take this back knee, I'm going to shift my weight onto my right hip, lift this left leg up, pull it all the way across, take this front heel in by my hip, and I'm going to twist. We're going to twist over to your left. So the left knee is up, you're going to twist toward that left leg. Take a big breath in, and then inhale through center and exhale, open twist. One more time, inhale through center, exhale, twist. Now you can hook your elbow either on the outside or above your knee. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. And then from here, okay, I'm gonna take this bottom knee, I'm gonna lean into this left hip, I'm gonna slide this bottom knee back behind me. And I'm in the same kind of position with my legs, which you can't probably see from here. But you can see I can lean back and lift and lower this back leg. Just lifting and lowering it, exploring that range of motion again. And lean forward and lift and lower the heel. Now from here, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the first side. I'm going to come into a wild-legged straddle by lifting this right knee up, stretching both legs out, and placing my hands close to the inner thighs. And you can either rock forward and back without lifting your hips, or you can press down and give a little lift. We'll do it a couple more times. Last time. Now from here, I'm just going to bend both knees again, and I'm going to swivel towards the front of the mat. And then you can lean back and lift and lower the back leg. There shouldn't be any pain here. Then shift your weight a little forward and lift and lower the back heel. Now I'm going to shift my weight into the right hip, lift the left leg up, bring it all the way across, pull that right heel into the outer left hip. Inhale, sit up nice and tall, and exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back through center, and exhale, open twist. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. Inhale through center, exhale, twist. Inhale back to center, and now we're going to reverse the direction of our circle. So I'm going to bring this left leg behind me again, lift and lower. Maybe the movement is a little bit smoother now that we've been working on this. And lean forward and lift and lower the back heel. Then I'm going to shift my weight over to the left, lean back a little bit, straighten both legs. And this time I'm just going to try and flex my feet and stretch forward between the legs. So your stretch might be more upright, or it might be a little lower to the ground. And just kind of gently come in and out of the stretch. Just discovering how far you can go today. I'm not trying to force anything, but keeping your legs nice and engaged. And we'll come back up. I'm going to lean back, pull my right leg in, bend the left knee. Lift and lower that back leg a couple of times. It's feeling pretty good to me right now. And lean forward, lift and lower. And really, you should feel that glute working because I'm feeling mine working. Now I'm going to shift back. Lift all the way back forward. Cross my right foot over the left. Inhale, lift up tall, and exhale, twist to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist. Now again, this is a little bit different, so I'm going to just pull this leg out from underneath. Bring my foot behind me. Lift and lower. Yeah, actually I want to get to the whole, if I can, open up. So I can bring my knee up and the whole sole of my foot's on the floor. That's what I'm kind of aiming towards. But it will depend on your range of motion and how close your knee is to your heel. And then lean forward again. A couple of lifts and lowers of this back leg. Then I'm going to lift the knee up again. Shift the legs open. Again, just stretching forward. Listening to my body. Being content with however far forward I'm ready to go right now. Come on back up. We're going to bend the knees. Lift and lower that back leg. Lean forward, lift and lower the heel. And pick your leg up, swing it all the way around. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale through center, exhale, twist to the right. And inhale through center, exhale, twist to the left. And come on back to center. And just come to a comfortable seated position with your ankles crossed or your legs parallel to each other. And we'll just do some nice circles around on our hips. So doing a little bit of cat-cow action, but big circles. Just letting the elbow, the shoulders move however they want to move, and then we'll switch the direction of the circles. Come back to center, lift both knees up, bring your feet apart, hands behind you, and shift up into your squat again. And you can place the hands down and start to lift your hips up and parallel your feet. Inhale to a flat spine, exhale, bow. Press into the earth, inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bow. Your plant might be in the way. Inhale up to a flat back, exhale, bow. Plant your hands, step back to plank, and back to downward facing dog. And we'll do those similar cat-cow circular waves. So inhale, round your spine forward, and exhale, bend the knees, stretch your hips back. Inhale, round forward, exhale, back. Inhale, forward, exhale, back. And a nice long stretch, and then we'll reverse. So we're going to inhale, come forward, and exhale, round back. Inhale, arch your head forward, and exhale, round back. A couple more times. And just do the best you can. Practice will help you to discover how to move in this a little more easily. And stretch back to your down dog. From here, inhale, reach your right leg up. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest, step your foot all the way forward. Keep your back knee lifted. Inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge. Lift up through your heart. And then exhale, lower your hands down. Pivot on your feet. So you're in a wide-legged forward fold. And begin to shift your weight from side to side. And come back to center. Shift your left foot forward, pivot on your back, right foot, and we'll come up to crescent lunge. Let the breath lift your heart up. Exhale, hands to the floor, step your right foot forward and your left foot back. Again, right away, inhale up, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down, pivot on your feet, and glide side to side. And we've almost completed this circle. We'll come back to center, pivot your left foot forward, with the back foot forward. Inhale, rise up, and exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Get a nice long stretch through your spine, and look towards your hands, bend your knees and walk your feet forward. Inhale to a flat back, exhale, bow. Push into the earth, inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And we'll do another circle. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. This time rotate the back heel down. We're going to come into warrior two. So keep the back leg strong and steady. Inhale with your breath, lift up. Exhale, reach back, reverse your warrior. Inhale back through center. Exhale, straighten both legs. Pivot on your feet so your feet are parallel. Come into your wide-legged forward fold. This time we'll twist. So bring your left hand to the center of your body and start to open up to the right. Open up the shoulder first and reach the arm up. And exhale, lower your hand back down. And we'll twist to the left. Good, lower your hand back down. And then we're gonna pivot the back foot forward. So now what was the back is now the front. Windmill up, warrior two. Big inhale and exhale, reach back, reverse your warrior. Inhale, forward, windmill the arms, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Rotate the back heel down again. Windmill the arms up, warrior two. Inhale, reach up and back, reverse your warrior. Exhale, back, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, parallel your feet. Lower your fingertips to the floor. Place your left hand in the center line of your body and open twist to the right. Exhale, lower your right hand down and slowly twist to the left. Exhale, lower the left hand down. Pivot your left foot forward, bend your knee. Oops. Walk your hands to either side of your front foot. And windmill up, warrior two. Reaching back, reverse your warrior. And windmill the arms and step back, downward facing dog. So you should be pretty warmed up now. If you feel like hopping forward, you can hop forward. Otherwise, you can step forward. So bend your knees. Inhale, lift up to a flat back. Exhale, bow. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to your hearts. So we're going to do that mandala, the circle again. And this time we'll do it with triangle pose. So this is where it might be handy to have a block. You could have one block at the back of your mat, one block at the front of your mat. It's not absolutely essential you have a block, but it could make it a lot more fun and help you to feel a little bit better if you have the block. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, place your hands, step back to plank. Bend your knees, stretch all the way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Rotate the back heel down. This is where you would want to use the block. Like I said, it's not absolutely necessary, but it could be really nice. Pull your right hip back, push into the back foot, push into the front foot, and then open up, triangle pose. Try not to lean into the floor, into the block. Bend your front knee, come back up, parallel the feet. This time we'll do a goddess pose. So lift your heels up, bring them in, and come into a wide-legged squat. Place your hands on your inner thighs. We're going to rotate the right shoulder towards the left knee, and then the left shoulder towards the right knee. And just go back and forth a couple of times. Come on back up to center, lift your heels, parallel the feet. Bring your left foot toward the back of the mat. So now again, the back of the mat is your previous front of the mat. You might want to take your block and have it right by your foot. Pull your left hip back, reach forward of your leg, lower your hand down to the block, and open up, triangle pose. So the key here is to really pull this front hip back so that your spine isn't rounding too much, but it's a nice long spine, and I'm not leaning into the block too much. And lower the top hand down and step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it forward. Rotate the back heel down. So if you're using the block, you would switch it to the other side. This time I'm going to demo without the block. Pull your right hip back, lift up through the belly. Keep a little soft bend in this knee and really push into the back foot. And open up, find your Trikonasana pose. Bend your front knee. Inhale up. Parallel the feet. Bring the heels in. Knees out to the side and just reach across. And we'll do one more time each side. Come back to center. Lift your heels parallel your feet. Pivot your left toes forward. Again, this time I'm not going to use a block. This mat is pretty slippery, so I'm really hugging my legs in a lot. You want to make sure that you have a wide enough stance. And that is, you'll determine from experience. If it feels like you're too high and it's too hard to get your hand lower, then you want to widen your legs. But if that feels too tight on your inner thighs, then bring them in a little bit. So I'm going to squeeze my legs in and reach forward. And keep reaching, reaching, reaching. Lower my hand to the floor, open up. This beautiful triangle pose. And bring the top hand down and step back. Downward facing dog. And then look towards your hands, bend your knees and lightly hop or step forward. Inhale to a flat spine, exhale, bow. We're going to come into a squat again. And just take a couple of breaths here. You can rock forward a little bit to work on ankle flexibility. And lower your hips to the ground. Keep your block handy. Lower all the way onto your back. We'll just do a nice supported bridge pose. So push into your feet, lift your hips up. Take the block underneath your sacrum. Let your hips rest on the block. Switch your left leg out, hug your right knee in. So I'm trying to draw this right knee towards my right shoulder and really reach out through the left leg. And because we're on a block, this is going to be a bigger stretch than if you were flat on your back. And then we'll switch sides. So just find just the right amount of stretch for you without overdoing it, but with also like exploring and not just like assuming you can only go so far, but testing. And release your knee, bring your feet up over your hips. And see if you can find a balance point. So if my feet were back here, I'd kind of be having to hold them up. And if they were here, they would feel like they were falling toward me. So I'm just going to try and find like a place to hover. And then we'll do some ankle circles. So really stretch out through your toes, flex your foot. Reverse the direction of your circles. And do it with the other foot as well. And reverse the direction of your circles. And then whatever you feel like doing here, you could point and flex your feet. You could circle your legs a little bit. Just have fun. It's important to remember to have fun and not take life too seriously. And come back to center and find a little stillness here. Bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Lift your hips, move the block out of the way. And then slowly lower down so you're peeling your back onto the floor. Nice little stretch on the way down. Hug your knees into your chest. And do circles here. So hold your knees and circle around from the right and away from you and to the left and towards you. And reverse the direction of your circles. And then we'll do circles in opposite directions. So pull your knees towards you, and then each knee goes out to the opposite side. And switch the direction of your circles. And hug your knees in and maybe pull yourself into a little ball. And stretch out for your Savasana. Making sure you're comfortable, so do a few wiggles, stretch out the shoulders, the hips, and just let everything float down. Relax with your breath. And enjoy the mandala magic that you feel. Appreciating this moment and the impermanence of life, as well as the infinite nature of our beings, of our spirituality, of our prana, of our energy. Just let everything go, let everything relax. Stay here as long as you like. And please hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Tell your friends about this yoga practice that they can share with me and with all of us together. And leave me a comment. I'd love to know how you feel, if you had fun doing this mandala flow. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.